Be a chatty video talking about astrology, spiritual topics, and some general stuff as well. I asked you guys for some suggestions on my Instagram yesterday or the day before of things you'd kind of like to hear me talk about in a video like this. I get kind of bored of the same old type of video, so I figured I'd switch it up a bit. Originally, because tomorrow is Thanksgiving, I was gonna make some stuffing and chat with you while I did that, but I realized that if I made the stuffing the night before, it might be gross by tomorrow, so I'm gonna have to hold off and make that tomorrow, and we're just gonna sit and chat. I've made, some tea. I'm festive. I know I'm a little ahead here with the decorations and I'm kind of in the Christmas zone, but I don't know, I'm always ahead in terms of stuff like that. I like to start things early. So as for the suggestions you guys left me, a lot of suggestions were for talking about specific planetary placements, talking about the significance of different planets, talking about the significance of specific placements. So I really can't do that in a chatty video. I feel like it'd be kind of hard to talk about specific stuff that not everybody, has or relates to. But I do have a video that's all about the significance of all the planets, what they all mean, the relevance, what their importance is, the meaning behind their placements and stuff along those lines. I have a bunch of videos on that, but I have a more recent one about the planets specifically that's, condensed into one video. So I will link that if you're interested. And somebody also asked me specifically for a sun and moon sign combination to talk about that. And I was like, oh, that's a really great idea. So I actually made a video earlier today about it, and I'm wearing the same sweater in it, which is a separate thing because it's just, there's a lot of stuff that goes into talking about that, so I didn't want to include that in this video. Some other things you guys asked me about was a life update. I got a couple of suggestions to talk about that, and it's fair. I was off of social media in regards to this channel, my YouTube and my Instagram, for a year and a half, and I just came back to making videos, I believe, in September. And I do have a reason for that, not one reason specifically. I have multiple reasons, but I didn't want to do a big I'm back announcement. I've done that before, and I just felt like there was no need of it. Just seems kind of I don't know, it just seems unnecessary at this point. So I did actually record, though, a video, back before I started posting again, kind of just talking about my feelings regarding YouTube, different anxieties that I personally have, and I think other people might deal with as well when it comes to putting yourself out there on the internet, even if you are, a smaller channel. But I've been on YouTube a long time. Been on YouTube since 2011. So sometimes I just take breaks, and there's really no major life updates to chat about. Things are going, well. I got a new puppy. If you hear any strange noises, he's kind of mingling around and giving me weird looks. What are you doing? Why are you sitting and talking to yourself? I never record downstairs, so I have my camera, my light, and he's what's going on? But I will introduce him in a little bit. I think he's just fallen asleep, so I'm gonna let him sleep. He's 4 months. His name is Brody, and I let my husband pick that name because I was trying to involve him, and he picked the name Brody, and I liked it because I really like the original Jaws, and I think it is a Captain Brody. Is it his last name? Now I forget. I know I looked this up when we originally got him. That's why I have my computer here. I have a couple notes because I get easily distracted. I do have ADD, and I'm all over the place sometimes, so I always make notes before I make a video. And let's see, so Jaws Brody. Martin Brody, yeah, the chief of police was Brody. And I've always liked that movie. So I was like, yeah, it's a cool name, it's fine. So that's his name, and he is a Cancer. His birthday is July 17th, which means that I am an earth sign, my son is a fire sign, my dog is a water sign, and my husband is a Gemini. He's an air sign. And when I grew up, my family was the same way, except, well, not including the dogs, though, but I was an earth sign, my sister a fire sign, my dad a water sign, and my mom an air sign. So, I don't know. I think it's really interesting to look at family dynamics and see, what's going on exactly with people's, astrology signs, their birth charts, stuff along those lines. A part of me really wants to make a mother-daughter video for this channel about how different like relationships differ, what like with, you know, mom's sun sign versus daughter's sun sign. I just don't really know how to craft it yet to involve everything. I don't know if I make multiple, I don't know if I just make one. I gotta kind of figure it out, but it's an idea I have brewing up here that I thought would be fun. But yeah, I find that kind of stuff interesting. And somebody that I talked to on my Instagram had suggested talking about cast in like movies or shows and stuff along those lines, and how, you know, they get along or they don't get along based off of their sun signs. And it's funny because I will look up certain casts to see what people's sun signs are, and I'll especially look it up if I notice tension, like on a TV show. And I'll see if like there could be tension because of their sun sign or something like that. Do you guys ever do that? Is that just me? I honestly don't really watch that much stuff anymore, but if I do, I'll probably do that if I'm into a show. If I'm not into a show, then I don't care. Anyways, let's see. What are some other things people asked about? Sorry, that life update was kind of lame, by the way, but like, I don't know. I'm a Capricorn sun and moon. Like, I'm very, I keep everything in here. I don't like to share personal stuff really, you know, past a certain level. So maybe I'll upload the video that I made a couple months ago at some point. Maybe I won't. I don't know. We'll see. It's probably like not even that personal. If I did upload it, you guys would probably be like, what are you even talking about? Like, you're just like not even talking about anything personal anyways, but whatever. Okay, so before I started filming, I was actually working on some transit videos because I have a couple people that I do transit readings for. And well, not only transit, sometimes I include like tarot readings, stuff along those lines. It depends what's going on. And I was looking into December, which I have looked into already, but I was definitely like really looking into it. And I was like, oh wow, like December is a big month astrologically in a lot of ways. Like we have, let's see, the big conjunction, or the great conjunction as it's called, between Saturn and Jupiter. So they're going conjunct each other, I believe, on December 21st. And that only happens every 20 years. The last time it happened was, I believe, in, yeah, obviously, if you can do math, in the year 2000. And it will not happen again for another 20 years. The interesting thing, though, is that for the last 200 years, the conjunction between Saturn and Jupiter has been taking place in Earth signs. And this is the first time in, I believe it was like since the early 1800s, that the Saturn-Jupiter conjunction is going to be taking place in an air sign. And it will take place in an air sign until, I think it's like 2000, wait, 2160 or 2159, something around that time. So in another 200 years. So every 200 years, that conjunction switches the element that they are conjunct in. And right now, we're on the brink of that, which is very intriguing to me. And also, you know, not only are we on the brink of that, but Saturn is going to be moving into Aquarius. I know it's like mid-December. It's either like December 15, 16, 17, something like that. So Saturn went into Aquarius, I believe, around March. Let me just double check on that. I don't want to be telling you guys the wrong information, but I do believe it was right around March, April, late March, something like that. And so it went into Aquarius, but then it went retrograde. So it went back into Capricorn. It then turned direct in Capricorn, I think around September. And I believe when it went back into Capricorn, it was in July-ish. I believe that's when it was. So September, it went direct in Capricorn. And now in December, right around mid-December, it's going to go back into Aquarius. So at the same time, we have Jupiter also in mid-December moving into Aquarius. So a lot of interesting energy going on. We also have a total solar eclipse, which happens like every year and a half on December 14th. So usually when you have, you know, that solar eclipse, it is a time of new beginnings, usually unexpected new beginnings, you know, things going into motion. Like it's a change might occur, but something's going to happen when that solar eclipse happens around that time. We also have, I believe it's a lunar eclipse at the end of November, November 29th, 30th, we have a lunar eclipse. So we have that. And then we have the solar eclipse on December 14th. And then we have the conjunction between, well, with Saturn and Jupiter. And we also, I think they're going to be squaring Uranus as well in Taurus. So lots of stuff happening. I find it very interesting. I don't want to go on and on and on. I do think we're on the brink of change. And I do think, though, with all change comes, you know, not all change, but with most, like with big change like this, it's not gonna like instantly be better. We're gonna really have to work through it. And I could go on and on, but that's not the only thing I wanted to talk about in this video. If you guys want me to talk about the conjunction of Saturn and Jupiter happening in December, let me know. If you don't, that's fine as well. Somebody asked me plans for like my channel or like videos that are coming up, stuff like that. And I have lots of ideas. I have lots of stuff that I'm working on, and it's not all the same thing. Like I am currently rereading Frankenstein because I have a very specific video that I want to make in regards to that. That's why I've been like, you know, sharing quotes and stuff from Frankenstein on my Instagram and working on that. I'm working on some stuff that has to do with relationships and not just astrology because, you know, I'm fascinated by relationships, by human nature. Psychology is what got me into astrology in the first place. So I'm very interested in all of that stuff, always have been, you know, my whole life. I worked in the psychology field for many, many years. So that's some stuff. And I also have been trying to do more showing versus telling in my videos, like filming. I think, you know, I don't know how you would phrase it, but instead of like sitting and talking like I've been doing on my channel for a very long time, I've been trying to do videos that kind of show as opposed to me just sitting there and talking. But the problem with that is they take forever to, you know, they take forever to make. And I don't have tons of time on my hands, so that's why sometimes, you know, I, you know, can't do exactly what I want to do in the time that I want to do it. But working on a bunch of different stuff, some deep dive stuff, and some stuff that's a lot lighter. So, you know, and of course, keeping with the love and relationship stuff that I've always been interested in, but maybe branching out a little bit in that department as well. So, what else did we want to discuss? Oh, I had some weird ones. I had one of my best friends ask me what I think I'd be doing on YouTube if I wasn't making astrology videos. And again, I started making them forever ago, so it's been a long time. I was in my early 20s, now I am 32. And I don't think I'd be on YouTube, to be honest. I just don't think it'd be something that would appeal to me. I mean, I've had interests over like the past of things that I'd be interested in. Like, you know, when I was a new mom, I was interested in like mom channels. Hold on, we don't want. Here's Brody. Say hi. He's so cute. Anyways, but I think if I was on YouTube, actually, I would be doing booktube of some sort. I love booktube. I love that little corner of YouTube. I feel like there's not a ton of, there probably is drama, I just don't really pay attention to it. I don't watch it all the time, but I do watch it from time to time. And I just love like the cozy atmosphere, just chatting about different books. There's lots of different types of booktube out there, and I enjoy it, you know? I think I'd be doing that. So the next thing I wanted to talk about, sorry, this is like all over the place, but whatever. Somebody asked me, and I thought this was really interesting, and it kind of got me like on a tangent when I was thinking about it, but somebody was like, oh, you should talk about spiritual, hold on, how do they word it? Controversial spiritual opinions. And I was like, oh, okay. I liked that idea. I didn't know if they saw, I made like a TikTok the other day for No Nuance November because I guess that's a thing. I'm like learning the TikTok ways as an old lady over here. But basically it's just like sharing unpopular opinions about, I don't know, anything. Or I guess they don't have to be unpopular, but it's like sharing your opinion, which could be controversial. Or like something that most people don't think, but not sharing your reasoning behind it. So I made one just about like astrology and spiritual things, and then somebody asked me to do to talk about that in a video. So I was like, okay, that's interesting. Don't know if you saw the TikTok or it was just like random, but good idea anyways. Loudly drinking water. You would think he's like a Leo with the behaviors right now. But anyways, so I just want to like point out that in my entire time on YouTube making astrology videos, I never really got involved in other channels. I mean, I've definitely like spoken a little bit to other astrology channels years ago, but like very little. And I don't know, I've never like collabed. I've never done anything really like that. I've just kind of like kept to myself. I don't really watch a lot of spiritual videos, and that would include, again, astrology, anything like that, just because, I don't know, I've just never really wanted to. The only thing I'll occasionally watch is like a pick a card reading, just because they'll like appear on my, what's that, your suggested on YouTube. And let's see, who have I watched? I've watched Charmed Intuition, I watched her like, I don't know, back when she had like kind of first started, maybe been around for like 6 months. Watched her for a little bit. She has like the coziest little channel. If you're into pick a card reading, she's has like these cute charms she pulls and stuff. Like, it's just fun. She always has it decorated cute and festive, or like whatever's going on. And then who's the other one that like appeared on my box recently? It was like White Rose Guidance. I'll write it here after. I'll find it. But both of those I enjoyed. Like, sometimes I've clicked on them and they just like haven't resonated with me at all, so I just clicked away. But those are two channels that I enjoyed their pick a card readings. I mean, I don't watch them often, and that's an opinion that I have right there. And so I think with these tarot readings, pick a card readings, they are very popular, and I understand why. Like, they're lots of fun and they can definitely be addicting, but I think that's part of the problem as well, is that they can be addicting. It's like, how much can you possibly know if you're watching? Because a lot of these channels will put out, not all of them, and I'm not like bashing them in any way. I think they're awesome, okay? But a lot of them will put out like multiple videos a week, and a lot of them will be about the same topics. And I just feel like it creates this want for constantly needing to know what is happening next, what can I expect? And sometimes, like, if it doesn't resonate with you, or you're believing that something's going to happen and it doesn't, I don't know, I feel like it could just put somebody in a vicious kind of cycle of needing more, needing more, needing more, needing to know what's happening, needing to know the next move, being disappointed if it doesn't happen, believing, I don't know, I guess like getting too caught up in it and constantly, and just like constantly needing more of it, I guess. So I don't know if that's controversial, but I think they can be fun every so often. But I just feel like if you actually are like dealing with like a major issue, I just feel like it can become like, if you're really somebody that's really like looking for answers and stuff, and you know nothing's actually happening, it can just be like kind of disappointing, or you're just like constantly looking for more and not getting what you think you're gonna get. I don't know. Does that make sense? Anyways, so that's one thing that I feel like maybe that's a controversial opinion. Can't say that word. The other thing, and I was just thinking about this the other day, I don't know where it came from, but manifestation, I feel like I'm just not all about it. Like, I don't fully buy into it. I remember everybody was recommending The Secret years ago, and then it became popular again a couple years ago. I think it's been around a while. So I was like, you know what? I've heard of this in the past. I've heard of it now. Maybe I should give it a listen, because I got it on Audible or whatever. And I was listening to it, and I was immediately turned off, and maybe I should have listened to the whole thing, and it's not fair of me to give an opinion without having read or listened to the entire thing. So The Secret is all about the law of attraction, which is, you know, very closely related to manifestation, if not the same thing. And in it, this is the quote I've been looking for. She says, "In a large-scale tragedy like 9/11, Hurricane Katrina, etc., we see that the law of attraction responds to people being at the wrong place at the wrong time because their dominant thoughts were on the same frequency of such events," she said. Now, this doesn't mean that they thought of the same events, but if their dominant thoughts and feelings were in alignment with the energy of fear, separation, powerlessness, and having no control over outside circumstances, then that is what they attracted. She said there's no one to blame in such cases, and that besides the deaths, injuries, and other losses, there is also miraculous stories of survival. So that's mostly quoted. I messed up like a few parts, but I just like didn't like that. That turned me off to it. I just felt like even if she's saying there's no one to blame, it's basically saying that an event such as that happens because people are worried about an event such as that. And I just don't think that's accurate, and I just don't think it's fair. I've tried manifestation in the past. It has never worked for me. Like, not once. One time I was like doing the whole manifestation because I actually like really needed money to pay off a bill. And I like was like, you know, I'm going to try to manifest because I kept seeing like stuff about it, you know? It was very trendy. And I ended up, the exact amount I was trying to manifest ended up being the exact amount of a different bill I ended up having to pay that like came unexpectedly. So I was like, what the heck? But that's not why I don't like it. I just feel like it's putting too much power into, okay, so when people talk about it, I feel like I will see videos. I don't watch them, honestly, but I do see them pop up because I do have an astrology channel, so things get suggested. You know, like get money quick, manifest your dream life, manifest a home, manifest beauty, like stuff like that. And I just feel like it's just this like need again and want for instant gratification. And why does everything always have to feel like that way? Like if we want it, we just have to think about it really positively and it's just going to happen. I don't know. I just feel like that's setting people up for disappointment. And a lot of times too, like for me, I have anxiety and it's very difficult to think on a positive, to think in a positive light all the time. Like as much as I tried, it would just be almost impossible for me to do that. But I do feel like if I put my time and energy into changing what I want to change to get the results I want to get, that works just as well as manifestation. And sometimes I feel like things happen more positively, like things I want to happen, when I just stop thinking about them so much, even if I am trying to think about them in a positive light. If I just like kind of put it out of my mind if I can, that's when I'll actually see things happen. So I could be wrong. I just feel like manifestation, yes, I agree with it to a certain extent, but I feel like the focus on it sometimes can be very shallow based. I don't know. And I don't think that to better your life or to get what you want, just thinking about it in a positive way is going to achieve that for you. Yes, it can put you on the right track. Yes, I think positive thinking is very beneficial, but I feel like the way it's presented and a lot of the times is like, okay, if you think this way, you know, every day you do this, this, and this, then you will achieve this. You know, you'll be prettier. You'll feel like you're more attractive inside, which, yeah, but I do feel like that takes more work than just thinking these positive thoughts. Like it can take some actual effort and like changes on your part. I think it's a great step, but I don't think it's the only answer. Does that make sense? Like I feel like it's part of it, part of the equation, but I don't feel like it's the whole thing. And I feel like it's often presented as the whole thing. All you need is to just think positive and great, amazing things will happen. And I think more goes into it than that. I don't know. And sometimes like things just aren't meant to be. Like, do I believe in fate? Kind of. Sometimes I change my mind on that. Sometimes I believe fate can change, which literally makes no sense. I know this. Do I believe in karma? Absolutely. But I don't know. I feel like sometimes things are just meant to be a certain way, and no amount of manifestation will change that. And I also don't think that people that were involved in the 9/11 attacks manifested that negative energy onto them. I think that was just a series of events that were already set in motion, and they had no control over it. So that's just my thoughts on that. And another thing that I think about a lot lately, and I'm very interested in the subject, and I don't disagree with the existence, okay? But it's twin flames. And let me know how you feel about this stuff below. So, one of my best friends who I met about like a year and a half ago enlightened me about twin flames. I'd never heard of them before. I'd heard of soulmates. I'd probably heard of karmic connections, but I had never heard of twin flames. So she enlightened me, and I, became very fascinated by them. And I do believe they're real. I have another friend who I think met her twin flame within the past year. Just by everything I heard, it sounded very twin flame-esque to me. And I do think twin flames are real, but I do think they're rare. I think they're more rare than they're made out to be right now. I feel like they're very popular to talk about right now. Like in a lot of pick-a-card readings, for instance, you'll see twin flame thrown in there, and that's fine, because I do think it's interesting, and a lot of people are curious about their twin flame, but I do think the idea of a twin flame can be problematic, because with the twin flame, if you don't know anything about them, just, look it up. Honestly, it's interesting. I can talk about it in a different video if you want, but there's different stages of a twin flame. There's the meeting, there's the separation, there's the union. There's more than that. I'm just like, grazing over it. But within what we're talking about with the twin flame, there's a lot of room for putting up with BS and accepting BS from your partner that you really shouldn't be. For instance, there's a separation. So twin flames are usually the runner and I believe it's the chaser. And a lot of times the runner runs and the chaser kind of waits around. And Like, for what? And I feel like that, putting that idea in people's heads, right? So if they think somebody is their twin flame, it's not like you can get a confirmation for this. It's not like you can like take a test. Well, yes, they are my twin flame, so I will go through the separation because we will eventually be united. But if we're not, if we don't have a union in this lifetime, we'll have one in another lifetime. But a lot of people will like wait around and deal with people treating them like crap because they believe that this person is their twin flame and that that's all part of the process. And I think that that's really dangerous and very toxic because it's really allowing people to accept abuse, to accept really negative treatment, to accept things that they just shouldn't accept from somebody that they want to be their partner. Now, in certain situations with a twin flame, I know that you don't always have to have the separation, period, but most people say that they do. And sometimes the separation is for natural reasons, and it doesn't involve somebody treating the other person poorly or being abusive in any way, and that's fine, and that's, you know, all part of the course, whatever. I don't disagree with the existence of twin flames. I just disagree, I guess, with how popular they are and the fact that we're kind of, by talking about it in the way I've heard it talked about, we're kind of promoting this idea that you can just be treated, you know, like crap. And that's okay because it's all part of the process. It's okay for them to not speak to you for multiple years because it's just part of the process and everything will work out. It's okay for them to, you know, speak to you in an abusive way because they'll come around. They just haven't had their spiritual enlightening yet or their spiritual awakening. Like, they'll come around, and once they get through that, then everything will be fine. They just haven't gotten to the point that you're at yet, the level that you're at. And if you meet somebody and you truly feel like they're your twin flame, you separate and you're like, you know what? We're not working out in this lifetime, and you drop the idea and you just kind of totally move on, that's one thing. But if you're stuck waiting around hoping they change, I just feel like it's a very dangerous thing to get involved in, like waiting for somebody to change. I'm all about giving people chances and giving people time, and everybody, you know, grows in life at their own rate and in their own way, and that's completely fine. But to just be like waiting for somebody to change so that they're a better person, or change and decide that they love you or realize that they love you, I don't know, there's just so much that it just gives me bad vibes. So I don't know, leave your thoughts and feelings below. I can talk about it more in a future video. I don't want to like keep going on and on and on. But yeah, I mean, that's pretty much really what I wanted to talk about. I had a few other suggestions. There's kind of one of my friends said Thanksgiving zodiac stuff was like their suggestion, which I have no idea what that means. So I mean, thanks. Thanksgiving's a good time for all. I actually did record like a TikTok of me talking about why I'm grateful for the signs in like a lighter, kind of sarcastic way that I can post tomorrow on Instagram or something if this video is up by then. I don't know why I'm even bothering with TikTok. Like, TikTok's crazy. I mean, I don't know how old you guys are that follow me, but I just feel like it's like very anxiety inducing. There's just like a lot going on there. It's fun, like it reminds me of Vine. I like the filming style, but I don't know, there's just a lot going on there that I'm like, whoa. But yeah, we're not gonna just sit and chat about TikTok for hours on end. That was my spiritual, controversial opinions though. I don't really have, you know, I don't, like I said, I don't spend a lot of time in the spiritual realm of the internet. I'm a very spiritual person, but I don't like spend my time in the internet really, to be honest with you. Occasionally, you know, that whole area is toxic as well, I've noticed. Like, everything on the internet just seems to be like tarnished. There's the good areas and then there's the tarnished ones, but what are you gonna do? I don't know. So yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it. I hope everybody has a happy Thanksgiving. If you want me to elaborate on anything I talked about today, let me know. If you want me to do a video like this again in the future, let me know. And if you're like, please never do a video ever like this again, let me know. Thank you so much for watching, and have a good day or night.